Hey there, and welcome to my laser review of this new film called Sound of Freedom starring Jim Caviezel. And yeah, if you guys been watching my channel, or if you're new to my channel, my setup is a little bit different with this apartment, and I've been trying to do small things like have the microphone on there, but getting this divider for sound and putting that there, getting some room dividers. It does sound a little bit echoey, I noticed, but I'm going to tweak the sound settings with iMovie, and we'll see how it goes, okay? But it's not perfect. Try my best here, guys. It's a hollow apartment, all right? Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I saw zero marketing for this film. I didn't even know this movie fucking existed. So, I always promote other people out there. I'm a fan of other YouTubers, obviously, and I do like Jeremy Johns. And I seen Jeremy Johns put up a review of Sound of Freedom. And I was like, Sound of Freedom? What is this movie? I didn't even see it on my app or anything. So, apparently it came out on 4th of July. Now, lucky old me, on 4th of July, I ruined my holiday by seeing this absolute total fucking dog shit train wreck of Indiana Jones 5.
That is one big pile of shit.
Now, I wasn't even checking the box office revenue over the weekend. I just knew that Indiana Jones was underperforming and I was happy about that. But then I see Sound of Freedom was like #1 on July 4th, and I'm like, okay, again, why didn't I hear about this film? I'm checking my Regal app and I have 4 major malls in my area. There's literally only one showing. So I'm like, I don't get it. What's going on? But okay. And of course, and I'm not going to get into this shit because people know me. I'm not political. I'm not left or right or up or down. I don't give a shit. I just want to see a good fucking movie. And there was some controversy about this film because
You really are a piece of shit, aren't you?
And because I don't have the biggest YouTube channel by any means, I will be very selective and careful what I say because I don't even know like censorship and what you can say. But the premise of this story is Jim Caviezel plays a character called Tim Ballard, and Tim was a Homeland Security agent. And what his job was is to, hunt down child sex trafficking. And I'm not sure if you can say that, so I'll say the word cinephiles, and you guys know what I'm trying to say. But he has to hunt down cinephiles, all right? And boy, I just got done out of this film, and usually I pour a drink in something, and I have soda, and so I'm discombobulated because this movie. Yeah, I'm just gonna drink this, do a quick shot, all right? So I have a good old bottle still left over of Jack Honey, and yeah, because this movie, before I pour some soda, I'm gonna fucking need a shot, all right? So as I usually do, let me get a drum roll and prepare for this fucking movie, and just hold on a second, all right? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah!
Okay, that stuff is really good, but I'm going to add some good old Mountain Dew, Baja Blast, zero sugar, of course. And all right, before my intro, guys, Sound of Freedom starring Jim Caviezel. The basic, questions are, did I like it? Would I recommend it to you? Should you go see it? Is it worth your time and money? And boy, why am I so messed up for? Because to say the least, before I spoil stuff and talk about it, this was a fucking powerful film, and it won't be for everybody. But beforehand, before we get into this stuff, let me enjoy my intro. And yeah, sorry I'm not my usual self, but some films, they just hit you in the feels, all right? So let's drink this and start the intro. You ready? You know what? The Zero Baja Blast isn't that bad, actually. So, all right. Sound of Freedom. What is this film about, and why am I still shaken up, and why did it fucking disturb me so much? And as I said, Jim Caviezel plays a character called Tim Ballard. What does he have to do? He has to hunt down child sex trafficking people. There's no easy way to say it. And off the bat, these guys, I think, were very intelligent to go with the PG-13 rating instead of a hard R, because this doesn't happen often, but in very select horror movies, you ever have that thing where it's like look but don't show? And sometimes the monster, not seeing the monster is more terrifying than actually seeing the monster. He does a sting operation and he has to arrest a certain individual. Now, this is why it's so powerful for us, because after he's arresting this guy, and every time I have a bad day at work and you have a bad day at work, imagine what guys like this have to go through. Because what does he have to do? After he arrests this individual, he has to watch footage. And, not to spoil nothing because this is what the film is about. He's watching some footage and it shows the wide shot of the camera, and what he's looking at, they show a small child about 8 years old, and there's an adult in a hotel room. That's all you need to know. And after that, instead of focusing on what he's looking at, it pans away and it shows his character with headphones on. He's watching a screen, and all you can imagine is what he's seeing. But his facial reaction and his eyes as he's watching this, footage there, he starts crying his eyes out. So you're thinking to yourself that goddamn, what is this guy fucking witnessing?
Damn, that's some fucked up shit.
Basically, he just, he keeps arresting people, and he's getting a little bit frustrated because one of his coworkers says to him that, how many cinephiles have you taken down in the past 10 years? I forgot the exact number, but it's like over 200.
How many pedophiles you caught?
288.
How many kids you found?
But he also asks him that how many children have you saved? And this is a major issue, whether people want to talk about it or not, is that this stuff happens a lot more often than you think. But with the good old America and jurisdiction and political red tape,
For Homeland Security, we can't go off rescuing Honduran kids in Colombia.
and there's not much they can do about that, so they have to just do their best and take care of people on American soil. Now, I wouldn't say that there's two main characters, but we have to focus on at least a set of kids because that's how it goes. Essentially, they show a person who's a recruiter, a young woman that we'll say in her 20s, and she does kind of like a fake America's Got Talent thing or American Idol, however you want to talk about it. And it just shows the process of this woman luring people and luring kids into this whole the ongoing operation, we'll say. So there's a father, and of course, these people are from poor countries like Colombia, and they want their kids to be big stars. So he gives his two children over to this woman, and they do these fake auditions. The father comes back because she tells him, oh, you can't be here during the auditions, come back in a couple hours. The dad comes back, and then all the children are gone, and they've been kidnapped, and you're like, now I'm pissed off.
I'm gonna kill them all.
So now Tim, he's just taking down more bad guys and stuff, and eventually, because it was a brother and sister, he eventually does rescue the brother. There's a guy, they're going across custom borders, and he's looking at the guy, pulls him over, and he's like, hey, what's up with the kid in the back? And the guy's like, oh yeah, he's my nephew, and you can tell it's not that. And the way just, Jim Caviezel's character, the way he goes to the kid, and it's powerful, and I'm trying not to tear up talking about it because I brought my 16-year-old with me. Being a father myself, it's just, this kid's 8 years old, and he asks the kid, what is your name? And the kid just says, Teddy Bear. And when the kid says Teddy Bear and he's crying, I fucking lost it, I won't lie. And he's like, no, what is your real name? And again, they don't have to show it, but once he rescues this kid, he's talking to, the powers that be and different doctors. And this woman's telling Tim Ballard that, this kid had, he'd been through some stuff. Again, I'm not going to say it on YouTube, And it's just really powerful where it's like you don't have to see it or even hear too much about it. But, this little boy had a sister. And of course, because they're coming from Colombia, there's not much Jim Caviezel and Tim Ballard, what his character could do. So eventually during the course of the film, the short bottom line version is he winds up just quitting Homeland Security.
What we do?
You quit your job and you go and rescue those kids.
He meets some people, he sets up this whole sting operation, and the entire third act is him going into enemy territory by himself, no resources, no fucking backup. And it has kind of like, I would say this not disrespectfully, but it's like the Covenant where he's basically by himself with no fucking help. And he finds out where this little girl may be. It's like he's not even, it's not guaranteed at all that this little girl's there, but he has to go there for himself and find out. So the entire third act is very realistic. All of us, we see John Wick and we see Rambo and we see, it's freaking Batman saving the day and Superman. And this is one of them situations where I feel like it was very realistic because you're not having this one guy going there and taking out like a village of like 50, freaking armed, trained guys with fucking AK-47s and shit. What he does, I think, is how the situation should have gone. And I mean, it's one of the things where it says based on true events. Who knows how much was true, how much was elaborated, but after the final shot, what happens is Jim Caviezel talks about the actual facts and numbers.
An estimated 2 million children are trafficked every year, and we can help them. Sound of Freedom is based on a true story about real-life heroes.
How often this goes on, how many billions of dollars these people make, and how many millions and millions of kids are out there that this stuff is still going on in 2023. And it could be more local than people want to admit. It's a very powerful message. My son, he was just looking at me like, Dad, this is messed up. And yeah, Jim Caviezel was saying that if you can buy tickets, share this message, try to get more people to talk about this. And this movie had a budget of 14 fucking million. I just wasted 2.5 hours of my life seeing that dog shit of Indiana Jones with a $300 million fucking budget on top of how much marketing. Versus a film like this film supposedly was made about 5 years ago. And why did it take 5 years to finally hit theater screens for? Why aren't more major news outlets talking about this? And the questions are, from being blue collar always is, did I like it? would I recommend it? Should you go see it? Should you spend your hard-earned time and money seeing this film? And let me put this down, but oh boy.
Shit just got real.
If I had to rate this film is one of the films where, I mean, I love Fast and Furious for what they are. I love like Transformers for what they are. But I'm not going to pretend for a second that those films are better than this. This film, by all accounts, is a fucking masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
But the thing is, a film like this, because it's so powerful, it's so impactful, it is a masterpiece. A film like this, I'm fair warning you, is not for everybody. Whenever she sees this, my love interest, my baby, my girlfriend, a film like this would really fucking bother her. I could see a film like this bothering certain people who may have had a lot of, experiences in their life. I could tell two of my sisters would not like this fucking movie. So if you walk into this film, and trust me when I say, would I recommend it? Yes, I would recommend it. But I would say, if you go into this film, you have to understand what you're walking into. Because again, it's PG-13. Don't expect a whole bunch of violence. Don't expect big explosions. Don't expect, a whole bunch of gore. And don't expect very graphic imagery of what's happened to these children.
Not enough people know this problem exists, and even fewer people are willing to do anything about it.
There is a very powerful message behind this film, so I recommend watching it, buying it, tell as many people as you can about this film. And I know the point of like theater and cinema is escapism. You want to see Batman save the day. You want to see, Mission Impossible is coming out. I want to see Tom Cruise save the day. Oftentimes, you know what? The reality is the good guys don't always win.
This is just a reality check.
And, films like this have to be made. These messages have to be talked about. It's uncomfortable, no doubt. It's very powerful, and I'm very glad I saw this film. Is it my film of the year? It's hard to say right now because I really, really love Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. It should make you uncomfortable seeing this. It made me uncomfortable watching it. But the thing is,
That's the point!
okay, thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, I appreciate it. If you are a fan of mine, I appreciate you guys watching. It's really hard talking about this fucking film, to say the least. But I have to, as I always do, check my time, edit this stuff, and I hope whatever I said, it means a lot to you guys. Out of everything I've done so far, it's really hard to talk about this movie. That's why I'm not my usual chipper, happy-go-lucky self, and I hope I can make you laugh or just make you think for a couple minutes. And that's it. Let me grab Bender.
This calls for a drink.
That's some good Mountain Dew. All right, guys. Well, catchphrase.
It's called a catchphrase.
And now let me just let me head back to work.